Welcome back. With us right now are a couple folks who have been on our show before, and one of them who was on not too long ago showed us his amazing photography, Larry Cunningham, who's sitting farthest away.
Good to be
see you
back
again, Larry. And also Mark Rabinowitz, who of course we see often on the trading posts. But today what we're talking about is the 4th of July event that took place. Right. And people had so much fun there. They might have noticed that was it to both of you flying the drone?
Larry flies it and I photograph.
And you photograph it. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to show some video in just a moment. But first, we were kind of talking about how the drones, the cameras, the equipment, and we're not going to really get into the policy here. That's not at all. What we're talking about how just 3-4 years ago, the type of equipment that you're using, and it is a pretty good drone and camera, obviously high end,
yeah.
But it would have been almost prohibitive in cost just 3 years ago. Am I right?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
The technology has changed so rapidly and so fast, but with that technology change, we also get better quality cameras, and the price points have gone down.
Right, yeah, it definitely has.
As a matter of fact, I was just telling Mark in one of our blogs, we picked up the fact that Hasselblad has just been bought out by DJI. Hasselblad is going to come out with a new Wings 1 camera.
Wow.
That's what I said too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a wow.
Yeah, it really is. And why don't we roll in this video for a minute or so? It has some sound, and then we're going to kind of tail off the sound as we talk, and we'll have the video up in the background. So if we can roll that, we'll go to that, and we'll be right back.
The 4th of July, 1776, will be the most memorable in the history of America. I am apt to believe that it will be celebrated by succeeding generations. It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations. From one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward, forevermore. John Adams.
Photographs that were taken here. Right. And who took those? You or different people?
Well, I took the still photography as well as working with Larry up in the air. Brian asked me to come to a planning meeting for 4th of July.
Okay.
Which I did, and at that meeting I got the idea of, gee whiz, you know, everybody's going to just show up and everything's going to be ready to go.
Right.
But no one in the village is going to know who or how much work the staff put in to get everything ready.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
So I spent 4 or 5 hours Thursday before 4th of July photographing as the staff started to prepare the building, and then continued to shoot on 4th of July, and then Larry and I got to over there to Clubhouse 2 at 10 and put the thing up in the air. And
now both of you, while the drone was going, you were both there. So tell me what role. You were flying it and you were moving the camera. Right. Is that how it was going?
That's exactly
it.
It takes a team really to do this right, and this is what most drone operators should be doing, Ken, is that the pilot has control of the platform, and then Mark, in his role as the photographer, looks at exposure, composition, and he actually has his own controller.
Oh, okay.
So when you see the camera moving there, I'm not moving the aircraft. Mark is actually moving and following the activity that he wants to photograph. So it's really a team effort.
Very much.
Cameraman and the pilot.
And this is much the same way that if anybody watches the local news channels with their helicopters,
Of course,
that's
yeah.
exactly what's
Yeah.
happening.
Sure.
The pilot, who sometimes is the commentator, the camera comes on the pilot and they're going, oh, we're over the 405, something's going on. But often you'll see somebody in the background, in the back seat of the aircraft,
Yep.
and you can see them, they're controlling the camera.
There are
And,
times.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that's what Mark and
That's
I
what
exactly
we
what we
do.
did, as you can see
Yeah.
here. One of your staff got a shot of us
Mark got a shot of us, yeah.
Yeah.
taking off. So we have two separate controllers, you can see there. Mark's controlling the gimbal and the camera, and I'm taking the bird off here.
Yeah. And that is, again, it's a team effort.
It certainly
and it
definitely
makes it a
a team.
lot safer. Am I right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
because we are flying under the guidance of the FAA guidelines, and part of those guidelines are, visual line of sight.
Right.
And as a pilot, I want my focus and concentration on the aircraft. And as the camera operator, Mark's looking at all the other aspects of getting a good shot for our customer, which is you guys.
Well, actually,
In this
residents,
case.
yeah. But you know what's interesting, and I bet a lot of people don't realize this, is when you're watching various TV programs, especially reality series, and they might be up in Alaska or wherever they are, and you see these wonderful, beautiful aerial shots.
Yeah.
Well, they're no longer using helicopters, especially for shows like that. It would be way too costly to do that. That's what they're using. They're using drones,
Yep.
and you can see if this is a HD broadcast quality footage. It's absolutely amazing. It really is.
Well, it's interesting, Ken. This shot that you're looking
Yeah.
at now is a night shot, but with the camera, I can fly 7 different cameras. With the camera that we put on for the 4th of July, we were able to pick up all the people
Wow.
lighting up their cell phones as they lit it up. They lit up the whole background there, and it gives you a better perspective
Wow.
of how many people were actually there.
And I kept yelling at him, go higher, go
Yeah,
higher,
and you
because I
can
wanted to encompass the
That's
whole,
amazing.
the whole
You-
of the grass area.
you can change out cameras on your particular.
Yeah, we can fly 7 different
drone.
cameras.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's just as simple of
And we
connecting them in.
just garnered. He just bought a new camera for the bird. We now can zoom from 14 to 42 while the
In the
bird's
air.
up in the air.
Wow.
Which gives us
Incredible.
gives us
really
a safety
cool.
margin
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
Yes, especially
so we
with a
can
lot of
avoid
folks.
the crowds.
Yeah. Right.
And yet we can stand back and get a really good shot that shows well on TV.
Yeah.
I am so glad he asked me to be his partner with this.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Just out of curiosity, how much does a drone like yours has? I know there's so many different models nowadays and brands.
Well-
Is there's certain ones that you really like?
Well, I like the Inspire series, Ken, because it gives you the latitude of flying multiple cameras, and they have a even more advanced Inspire called the Inspire 2, which has 2 batteries, gives you more flight time. It can fly essentially the same cameras that Mark and I are flying now, but it is meant for longer duration. Has a little better GPS positioning in it, so I like the Inspire series.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize you can change out cameras because I thought they were all fixed.
He's taught me how to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that true of the higher end drones in general?
The higher end drones, if you go up to octocopters, which have 8, you can actually change the whole camera. You can put a different DSLR. You could put a Nikon or a Canon or an Olympus on it.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, they have to be a certain weight and under for these cameras, right? They're specific for the drones.
The FAA guideline for that is 55 pounds and under. Of course,
Okay.
we're well underneath that.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Yeah.
But to answer your last question, price range for what we have starts at $2,000.
Okay.
And then you add on extra cameras, extra batteries, accessories. But
Now, for that price, does it come with a camera?
it comes with a basic camera.
Okay.
Yeah. But it has limited features, but it'll still do 1080p.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because how much that would have been just 2-3 years ago.
Oh.
Very good.
But it gets expensive quickly.
Yeah, and look at this. You were right up there. I mean,
We were eyeball to eyeball with the fireworks. And
Yeah.
in some cases, some of the fireworks were going
us.
off below us, and I was able to pan down and actually get shots of the shells leaving the ground.
How high up were you at this point, would you say?
We had an FAA limit of 300 feet.
Okay. That is really cool. Now, you weren't as close as it appears, I would assume.
Because we were flying the new camera, which, as Mark pointed out, we have the capability to zoom in the air, so we can go 14 to 42.
Okay.
So he had zoomed
I mean, it
in.
looks like you're right on top of it.
We were in the parking
Wonderful.
lot right in front of 19.
Yeah.
And of course the fireworks were down behind 19 down in on the golf course. But we were like 2 5-year-olds when this got done. It's like, wow, look what we just got.
Fantastic work, both.
It was
of
a
you.
lot of fun.
Mark.
Thank you.
Larry, I know we'll have you back on again.
Yeah.
Talk about all this, because I just find it fascinating.
Wonderful.
And
Well, we can come back over as a team, because I'm only one part of the team as the pilot, but the camera guy.
you did an excellent job. I mean, really.
It's a team. It's a team effort.
And I can see how much fun they're having doing this, right?
Oh, absolutely.
All
We were high-fiving like crazy.
And we
when
want to
got done.
mention, you know, that they're going to be voting on that policy soon, but these guys have permission to be doing this.
I was just going to say, one thing that Larry does every time before we fly for GRF, and that is he gets the clearance from Tim Moy.
Right.
We're not just taking it up.
Right.
Yeah, and Ken, just to follow up with Mark's saying, is that to get authorization to fly with our security, I submit an FAA flight plan, and at the time we fly, we get our own insurance to cover the area. We're insured to cover the whole area that we're flying in.
Good point. All right.
So we get the insurance, we file a flight plan, and Tim Moy and security folks give us a blessing before we fly.
And that's the way they do it.
That's
Thank you,
the right way to
gentlemen.
do
You're
it.
welcome. Thanks for having us.
And
Likewise.
great to have you here. Can't wait to see the next round.
It'll be fun. We have some new things coming up.
Fantastic.
Yep.
All right, we will be right back.